This might be out. Taken comfortably. That's a good catch in the deep. One run needed. This might run away to the boundary.
Hello everyone, welcome to State Bat with Devesh. The show will come on every Wednesday and Friday, 5:30 p.m. on TAC TV. I am very pleased to welcome our two guests, Mr. Umar Bhatti and Mr. Anil Jethi. They are very prominent member from our cricketing world in Canada. Mr. Umar Bhatti was former captain of the national team and he was also a fast bowler, left-arm fast bowler. And Mr. Anil Jethi is very active worker in the cricketing world of Canada. He has served the cricketing world of Canada for a long period of 10 years. So today we are going to discuss that what are those issues which are making us go down instead of achieving our glory, what we should have been achieved, right? So I will start with Mr. Umar Bhatti. Would you like to tell us about yourself? Like, when did you started your cricketing journey? What is your earliest memory about the cricket?
Oh, I think that would I'd have to go back a very long time. I think must have been 2 or 3 years old. My dad was very passionate about cricket, so naturally coming from Pakistan, it's a no-brainer that any kid at a young age they start playing cricket. So I think I still probably have pictures of me holding a cricket bat at probably 2 or 3 years old. Then I started playing in Lahore. I grew up in Lahore. Started playing club cricket in Model Town, which with one of the very famous clubs there. It was run by Nawab. He's produced quite a few Pakistani cricketers. Then I switched to another club later on. Then migrated to Canada when I was 13 years old. Didn't play cricket here for a couple of years because I didn't know there was cricket here. Then I went to high school. And then luckily we had a cricket team there. So just my cricket journey in Canada started from high school.
And which year it was?
That was 1999.
1999. And if I'm not wrong, you are a big fan of Wasim Akram.
Wasim Akram, of course. I mean, I grew up watching him. I used to bowl left arm. I still do, but obviously watching him in 90s, he was every fast bowler's idol in Pakistan, or even worldwide, you could say. Just great style, great action. He put fears in the heart of batsmen. I mean, any top-rated batsman that you speak to, they rate him very highly. Probably the most difficult bowler that they've faced in their careers, and these are like some of the legends of the game.
Yes.
So I think it was natural. So I try to emulate him any way I can with my action. Used to, and then my dad had a big role to play in that too.
So your dad was also a player, or?
He played a little bit. He played in school and university, but not at a professional level.
Okay.
So I guess he really wanted his passion.
Okay.
So he wanted me to pursue his passion. But I mean, who doesn't love cricket growing up in South Asia? So as I said, it came naturally.
Yes. Hold on to that, because we'll come back to Wasim Akram and his role in producing a lot of fast bowlers, not only in Pakistan, but also in India and other countries. And it also shows the importance of a star and the role model, right, in cricket. But before I go to Wasim Akram, I want to come back to this, your journey. And when you tell us that, how did you then progress, right? From school to under 19 and then to national team. And not only that, you also captain this team.
Yeah, so as I said, I started playing cricket in 1999. So my school coach, he introduced me to a club here in Scarborough, Victoria Park. So the season was just beginning. This is the spring of 1999. So then he told me, go meet so-and-so coach. So I went there, I attended the practice. We had 2 junior teams and we had 2 or 3 senior teams as well.
And this team were from school, or?
No, this is a club team I'm talking about now, Victoria Park Cricket Club.
Okay.
That's a very famous club in TND, Toronto District Cricket League. They go a long way back. I think they've been around for 50, 60 years. So it was one of the prominent clubs in Toronto and District Cricket League. So I started playing there. In my first year, I made the Ontario Provincial Under-19 team. We used to have Canada Cup, and then we used to have a series against Quebec under-19s. I remember, I think I took 5 or 6 wickets in one match against Quebec under-19s. So and then junior cricket was really big at that time.
Yeah.
We had a lot of very competitive teams.
Yeah.
Victoria Park used to be one of the best. So we won that year, and in the final I took 4 wickets. So one of our coaches was also an under-19 selector. So he saw me perform. I was doing well. And then through then the winter game, season ended. So then we used to have practices over the course of winter. So these are provincial under-19 practices that I'm talking about.
Okay.
So it was like a developmental camp, if you will. So that's how I finally came in the system. And then the following year, again, I made the Ontario under-19 team. Because I wasn't eligible to play for Canada under-19, even though I was good enough, but because of the ICC eligibility criteria.
And what was that like?
So you had to be here for 4 years. I don't know what it is now because the ICC has changed it, I believe. But back then it used to be that you had to be in Canada for 4 years
before you represent the.
That's right, but you had to be in the country for 183 days consecutively. So you couldn't leave, come back. It's not like I could go spend 6 months in Pakistan and come back. And so I had to live in Canada for 183 days for 4 years in a row in order to qualify to represent the country.
Okay.
So due to that, I missed the 2001 under-19 World Cup qualifier, but then I was eligible to play in the 2002 under-19 World Cup in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So that was my international debut for Canada under-19s in the 2002 World Cup in New Zealand. So we played against, our first game was against India. And you had, Partha Patel, Irfan Pathan, Siddharth Trivedi, Chandan Madan, some of the guys.
Was Mohammad Kaif was the captain or?
Oh no, Partha Patel. I think Mohammad Kaif was captain in 2000. That's correct. Yeah. So prior to 2 years before that.
Yeah.
So, we played against India.
And how many wickets you took against India that time?
I think I didn't take any wickets, but I scored 40 or odd runs against India. Yeah,
not bad.
Because I used to open the bowling and batting initially. Our coach, he loved me. Like you have so much potential. You could do both. It was tough, but I started as a tail ender, but I worked really hard on my batting as well.
Yeah.
So, and then came back, continued to play cricket. Senior team was doing well. They had qualified for the 2005 World Cup. 2003 World Cup.
2003 World Cup.
Yeah, but I was only 17, 18 at that time. So I was knocking on the doors, but wasn't able to push my way through at that time. But I made my senior team debut at the end of 2003 in the West Indies 50-over competition.
Yes.
I used to be called Red Stripe.
And against Zimbabwe?
No, that was the ODI. This is the West Indies domestic competition I'm talking about.
Okay. So it was first class match.
Yeah, list day match. It was a one day. Yeah. And it was just before the 2004 under-19 World Cup, which I captained in Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
Yes.
So how was the feeling when you first played for the nation, right? And you represented as a captain. So
it was pretty surreal. It's like a dream come true, and I never, coming to Canada, I never thought, I'd be pursuing cricket. Okay, you play as a hobby here and there, but not, not going to World Cups or anything. So, it was beyond my wildest dreams, I would say.
Yeah.
A surreal feeling. You can't imagine.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. But in Bangladesh, at the opening ceremony, you had 20,000 people coming to watch the opening ceremony of an under-19 World Cup, and you're representing your team, holding Canadian flag and walking down the stadium
and walking with the future greats, right? So
right, exactly, right. Because even at that time, a lot of the players that are playing international cricket today, they were there at that time, so we were playing against them. A surreal feeling. Then, but I was already in the senior team by then, at that time. So
yeah, so I was looking at your record, right?
Yeah.
In the ODIs and T20, I think in ODI you have a very good success, right? So you have like 36 ODIs matches.
Yes.
And I think you took once under like 4 wickets. That
Yeah.
is your best figure, right?
Yes.
And what struck to me was your striking average, which is very good, like 49, I will say, yes. And also your economy rate was very good, 4.20.
Really? Honestly, I don't know these things.
No, I do a lot of research before I come to the
Okay.
program.
That's
So
good to know.
it was good to know. It shows that you are a very economical bowler, so you don't want to give the run, right?
Right.
So maybe your striking rate is like 49, you should have been like within the 30s, but actually if you are saving the run, then maybe you are not going for the wicket. So was that the problem?
A lot of the times, I mean, stats tell one story.
Yeah.
But when you're actually playing on the field, and it's not like, I'm the only one playing, right?
Yeah.
You talk about batting in partnerships, but when you bowl, you also bowl in partnerships, because if I'm applying the pressure, the batsman might want to go, after the bowler at the other end, so they
Yes.
could be getting more wickets than I am. But so these things you don't see
in the stats.
In the stats,
yeah, I totally agree
no
with you.
scoreboard will ever tell you.
And I will give you a very good example of this, that the benefits in Pakistan for the bowlers were that they always bowled in tandem, right? There were always two greats from both the ends. But in India, Kapil Dev was
Alone.
the only player or only greats bowler who was taking the burden from one side. But there was nobody who can match Kapil Dev or he can supersede Kapil Dev to give him the support.
Right.
So imagine the guy took 434 wicket
Yeah.
solely on his own capability. Had he got some very good as 50% as good as Kapil Dev, I thought you can add 200 more wickets to his achievement, right? So I totally agree with what you are saying.
Yeah.
Is that you need, these things works in the partnership.
Yeah.
Whether it is a bowling or batting, you always need a partner who can support your, your
Yes.
ideas and your type of bowling.
Absolutely.
So what movement you think in your cricketing life, which was like a best moment, that moment, and one which you think is a very low moment, and how did you cope up with those moments? Two different moments.
I think it's hard to pick one when it comes to best moments, because as I said, lived a dream for quite a while. Because traveling, going around the world, playing in different parts of the world, meeting so many different people. First, my senior team debut, I think that was pretty special. I mean, just going to the World Cup, it's a big deal. I mean, people not realize it, or it may not seem like a big deal to other people, but when you represent your country at a world stage, it's a whole different feeling altogether. I mean, there is no other feeling that can match that.
Yeah.
So, anytime you represent your country, it's a special feeling. But playing in the 3 World Cups, 2019 World Cup and the 2007 World Cup, I took a hat trick in an I-Cup final, Intercontinental Cup final against Ireland. That was pretty special.
And Ireland is a very good team.
Right. I mean, they're a test
time,
nation
yes.
now, and all these guys that are playing test cricket now, played against them, got them out so many times. So, it's when I scored my first 50 for Canada, that was pretty special, because I didn't consider myself an all-rounder, but a 50 is a 50. It doesn't matter where you bat, up
Absolutely.
or down the order.
Making even one run in international matches is not easy.
Another special feeling would be, although it's not official, but I did get Mohammad Yusuf out when he was the #1 ranked batsman in the world in 2007.
Pakistani batsman. Yeah.
That's correct, because in 2006 he had scored like 17 or 1800 runs in the calendar year.
It was
we had a warm-up game against Pakistan,
Uh-huh.
and I got him out.
Wow. And what was that?
I mean, I was so
How did
young
you
boy.
get him out? Like with in-swing or outswing?
It was a slower ball, surprisingly, and he tried to hit me over the top, and he got caught at mid-off. I mean, I was still a boy. I was only 22, 23 years old at that time, and to get the #1 batsman in the world, it has to be on top. Yes. Yeah.
He was one of the very correct batsmen in Pakistan. If I see all
I think Bob Wooler had a lot to do with his. He was always good.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was never great.
Yeah.
Until Bob Wooler came in the picture, and then I think obviously he worked hard.
Yes.
He
And I
had
think
that
you brought up a very good point here. Like what Bob, any coach, if you are playing in the national team for a long, and you will agree, sir, they cannot teach you how to bat, right? The only thing they work on is your mental capability, your mental toughness.
That's correct, because the skills are there.
The skill is always there.
You'll slip up here and there, maybe. You're not keeping your elbow upright, or whatever the case may be, or you're not watching the ball properly all the way, just little tiny things. But, they make a huge difference in the context of playing the game.
Yes.
Because you can be, scoring hundreds here and there, but all of a sudden, if you don't do your basic things right, then all of a sudden 2 or 3 innings go by and you don't score 10 or 20 runs, then you feel like you're out of form.
Yes.
So it's just the mental aspect, that's what coaches are there to help you with. I mean, you've already developed your skills. You continue to improve whatever you can, but at that level, at an international level, it's 80%, your mental ability to be able to deal with the pressure, to take on the opposition.
I think it's also about how the coach gel with the players. All coaches are same. What they tell you, straight back, elbow, everything, all language is same. How is come that one coach is good, one is not?
Absolutely.
It's only because how they treat the players and how they take him.
Yeah. How do you absorb that?
Yeah. Even like a coach like Anil Kumble, great player, couldn't stay for more than 1 year. Ravi Shastri is there forever.
Yeah.
They are teaching the same thing.
Yeah.
What they are going to teach Virat Kohli? How to bat?
No, it's just the mental approach.
It is a mental approach and they talk about how to motivate the players. Their job is to motivate. You can't teach Virendra Sehwag how to bat or Tendulkar how to bat.
Here, come and
they know everything about batting.
Block the first ball. No, every time you bat. I remember every time he batted in the 2011 World Cup, I think 3 or 4 games in a row, he used to face the first ball and hit it for 4 every single time.
Who?
Yes.
Virendra Sehwag.
You can't stop him.
Like first ball of the game. There's no watching or anything. Get your
I know
eye
him.
in.
Like I've seen him playing when he was a kid. He used to play with my son. Even you tell him, Virendra, stop. Okay. But once he's facing the ball,
you're in the zone.
Because
right?
you see, in cricket, especially in batting, you go with your natural instinct, right? If you try to curve that, more often than not, you will get out. So it is better that you go with your natural curve, a natural instinct, and see what you can do best. And Virendra Sehwag was best in hitting the ball rather than defending the ball. So I think it is good. So one thing I wanted to ask you, Umar, that who was that one batsman in your cricketing life when you were bowling to him and you said, man, this is his real talent. He's a tough guy, right?
Oh, honestly, that's kind of hard to answer because I've played against England, played against New Zealand, against Pakistan, and those guys are just like very, very good. I mean, their skill level is, I don't think we can match that coming from an associate country because they're just way ahead of the curve.
We'll discuss that why
but
we cannot
honestly,
match them.
I can't pinpoint in recalling, the one batsman where I thought I couldn't get out. I always believe, because if you think that you cannot get a batsman or you just want to watch him, then you might as well not play. You're better off sitting in the dressing room because you're out there competing and, because ultimately it's bat versus ball. So, if I happen to bowl a good ball and he nicks it, well done. If I, bowl a bad ball and he hits me for a 6, it's my bad.
It is very important point because I know that a lot of youngsters are watching our TV program, and this question I always bring forward to the players who have achieved something in their life, to highlight that mental ability and mental toughness is so very important in your cricketing life, because if that is not there, it doesn't matter how much skills you have, you cannot achieve what you should have achieved. So that's why this question I put to you.
Okay,
how do you do that mental preparation?
Yeah, I'll tell you one second. But the point that I'd like to make about that, about an off and a batsman. I mean, when I played against Pakistan, now you have all of a sudden, in Zaman was playing, he was the captain. And, you go back 15 years when Pakistan won the World Cup and, he single-handedly was responsible for getting Pakistan to the final. He's your childhood hero, and all of a sudden now you're competing against him. So yeah, you're a little bit starstruck. But you know, you got to snap out of it very quickly. Otherwise, you know.
Otherwise, you will.
Yeah. So it's not like, and you know, almost the first ball that I bowled to him, I almost had him LBW because I knew, because watching him, and you know, hearing the commentators get what his weaknesses all these years. It's when he comes to the crease initially, he does not like, you know, the ball coming back into him.
Yeah.
And me being a left-hander, that was my natural tendency to bowl in swing. When he came to the crease, the ball was still relatively new. It wasn't swinging as much as I would have liked. It swung a little bit. He survived. I mean, had I got him on the first ball, imagine, you know, I might have been running around the field.
He was one of the most natural batsmen I've ever seen.
Yeah, and
but
I don't think I've ever seen anybody hit the ball harder than him.
Yeah, it was. But another weakness of Mr. Haq was running between the wicket.
Yeah, well, of course, so, I mean, he's very famous for that.
Yes, absolutely. So, if I would have to ask you, and you know, say that if you have to give advice to the new cricket players of Canada, what is that two important advice you would like to give?
I think cricket has changed a lot in the last even 5 to 10 years or so. Dramatically, I would say, with the rise of T20. There are so many different techniques that are being, you know, implied by the coaches. It's just a different way of preparing now. With T20 taking, you know, obviously it's taken over the globe now. That's the bread and butter of every cricket board nowadays. But I guess you have to really believe. First, you got to practice your skills no matter what. Now, all of a sudden, all these paddle sweeps, reverse sweeps, whatever. You got to work on your skills, no doubt. But it's your mental approach, because you see all around these leagues. You know, you see so many players, but some stand out. Not that they're more skilled, but just because they can absorb that pressure. You know, when it comes to crunch time. You know, look at Dhoni, for example. Best example I can give you is Dhoni. It doesn't matter, you know, how much pressure he's under. He'll never show it. It doesn't matter. Even he could have a million thoughts going through his head at that time, but you'll never see him flinch.
He absorbs
everything. You know, he absorbs everything, all the pressure. Your mental approach is the key. You know, you got to visualize. Visualization in sports is the key.
It's very important.
You got to believe that, you know, if you're in that situation, you have to be able to pull it off.
Okay.
But how can you do that? First of all, you got to practice your skills. That's the first thing. So you know you've done your preparation.
Yeah.
So when it's time, and it's you know, when you're under that pressure, if you've got a strong skill set and strong mental ability, honestly, it's just gonna feel like you're just gonna walk in the park. So it's got to be second nature to you.
So as a captain, and you captain national team, so what was your style? You were like very cool and calm, or you were like very animated and
a bit of both. I don't think I fully developed as a captain, because I didn't captain for too long, and it's a process. You have to be. I was vice captain for 2 years. You know, I learned a lot, but when you become a captain, it's another step up. And you have to give yourself some time to grow in the role, which I never developed, I feel. So I can't really say, what my style was, because I didn't captain long enough. I would say I was between authoritative to, a little bit easygoing. Somewhere in between. I can't really pinpoint which. I guess the players I captain, they could tell you better.
Okay, so a very straight question, Umar. You played cricket in Canada for a very long time.
Yeah.
And you have achieved a good amount of success. Maybe not a great success, but definitely a good success. How do you rate yourself, and do you have any regrets playing cricket in Canada?
That's a bit of a tricky question. Yes and no. Yes, loved the time that I played it. Sorry, no, when I played for, such a long time. We were doing great. We were on the up and up. But, I got injured 2 months before the 2011 World Cup. So missing out on that, yes, that was a very big disappointment. Because, you work so hard all these years. And, for us as amateur cricketers, for the most part, that's the ultimate. I mean, it's the ultimate for any cricketer, but more so for us, because we really get those opportunities. We weren't guaranteed to play in every single World Cup. So, when that moment comes, it's so so much more special than anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
So missing out on that was very, very disappointing.
No, so I guess my question was, I agree that injury is the part and parcel of any athlete's life.
Yeah.
You have to deal with it, right?
Yes.
We'll come to next segment and we'll discuss that what support you get from the Cricket Canada when you are injured. But I guess my question was that, do you ever thought that if I played for Pakistan or I played for India or any other cricketing, giants,
yeah,
I would have achieved much better things in cricketing life rather than playing? So
oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, I think that goes with them, because once you the problem with Canadian cricket or any associate cricket, because our season is only limited, and the number of games that we used to play, we weren't playing all year round. So when we go on tour, you will make some progress, so you get better. But when you come back, you're training indoors, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So whereas you go against you go play against guys who are earning their bread and butter through playing cricket, so all they do is play cricket. Meanwhile, as associate cricketers, we had to come back, go to school or go to work and still train.
Yes,
so I definitely, I mean, if I were in Pakistan, I would play for Pakistan, and if I played for 10 years for Pakistan, yeah, I would have achieved a lot more for sure.
Yeah.
And that's for any cricketer that inspires to play cricket.
Yeah.
Aspires to play cricket. If they were to go play cricket elsewhere in a test playing country, and they make it to the highest level and they play for 10 years, they will definitely achieve a lot more than an associate cricketer would if they were to play associate cricket for 10 years.
Yeah. So coming to you, Mr. Anil, your son also played for national team, right?
Yeah.
So what was his experience like? He was disappointed at the end of the day, or he felt very good?
Disappointment is there. Like, I don't agree with him. Like, without associate cricket, Ireland is associate, Scotland is associate, Afghanistan was associate. They came up. Why can't we? Because we are fighting among ourselves. We have a very good league.
Hold on to that. We'll come to the second segment where we'll discuss that what are the factors which are pulling us down, and that is for the second segment.
Okay.
And I'll come and we'll explore, and we'll try to say that we'll make that segment more constructive criticism rather than pure criticism.
It's a positive thing. Like
Yes. So viewers, we listened to Mr. Umar Bhatti, and now we are taking a break, and after the break we'll discuss the various reasons, what are the reasons which are pulling us back and not letting us become a superpower in cricket. So see you after the break.
This might be out. Taken comfortably. That's a good catch in the deep. 1 run needed. This might run away to the boundary.
पिछले 10 सालों में इंडस हॉस्पिटल ने ये कभी नहीं सोचा कि कैसे चलेगा ये अस्पताल, जहां हो बिल्कुल मुफ्त मेयारी इलाज। सोचा है तो खुदा की रजा का, जिसने बनाया है आपको वसीला इंडस हॉस्पिटल का। 11 अस्पताल, सैकड़ों क्लिनिक्स के साथ इंडस हॉस्पिटल अब पाकिस्तान के 41 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में। इसीलिए जरूरी है आपका साथ।
Greenish Hair, Skin and Nails formula is packed with all the essential nutrients like biotin, omega-3, vitamins, and minerals to provide your hair, skin, and nails the nourishment that it needs. Like all other Greenish vitamins and supplements, the Hair, Skin and Nails formula is gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and non-GMO. It is also halal, kosher, and veggie certified. So make Greenish Hair, Skin and Nails formula a part of your daily healthcare routine.
This might be out. Taken comfortably. That's a good catch in the deep. 1 run needed. This might run away to the boundary.
Welcome back, and now let's discuss about the various factors which are pulling us back and not letting us become the superpower in cricket. So I will start with you, Mr. Anil.
Sure.
Jetty.
Yeah.
So would you like to tell us your experience and what you feel that Canada as a cricketing nation should do first and foremost?
Okay, let me tell you one thing. Look at this way. Like Umar said, we play only for 6 months. Still, we are getting qualified for World Cups. That means we have something.
Yeah, we have talents.
We have talents. We have something, we can compete with them, but why we are not able to sustain that? Reason, when they come back, they are fighting among themselves. I'll give you an example. We have a paid coach now. His name is Henry. When the tour comes, he is asked to stay back, somebody else goes. Why? Then why are we paying him?
Okay.
That's wrong. When you have, whether it's good or bad, if he's bad, don't hire him. Once you have hired him, let him do whatever good or bad he's doing. Analyze his performance after that.
Okay.
Recently there was a tour, I think he was asked to stay back, if I'm not wrong, Umar. Henry.
No, I don't think he was asked to stay back, but he was demoted from head coach to assistant coach, and somebody else went as head coach.
Yeah. So okay. So I will take it back, right? So the first thing, from my perspective in cricket, is that what is your lower infrastructure? So how we play in, when the cricketers are developing, what are the facilities we are giving to the budding cricketers, right? So I will start with the school system, with the junior players, with the junior tournaments, right? So how are those tournament organized?
Hardly there's a school cricket, but it's more about club cricket. Why club cricket is good? There's a reason, because in club, when you are playing, you can have outsider players or even PRs. Those who have come here, they can play, but they do not qualify to play represent country. But when they are playing in leagues, they look good, and we think we are very good. But when it comes to picking up for the national team, there are certain rules you have to follow.
Okay.
What happens is when they are playing, certainly like when they see there's nothing in there, they start diverting towards their work. Now the cricket becomes a part-time job for them, like for the passion they are playing, not as a professional. Well, there are only few people who are playing professional. Till that is not there, we will be doing all this what we are doing.
So how did you manage Umar Bhatti? Because when you were growing up,
Yeah,
there was a financial support from somebody or a sponsor?
No, not. I mean, we only used to get paid when we went on tours initially. When I started playing, I was still in school at that time. So if the cricket tours, most of them were during school year. So you'd have to take time off for 2 or 3 weeks. Go on tour, come back, try to catch up, and then after school work. So it was a challenge, but we did it. But you can't sustain that if you want to achieve permanent ODI status or even test level. You see, look at Afghanistan and Ireland. 10 years ago we were above Afghanistan and we were competing with Ireland. But look where they are. They're test playing nations now today.
Yeah.
I mean,
today they started playing
Afghanistan and Ireland last month, and look where Canada is. In ICC.
You have to qualify
Division
for qualification.
That's correct. So I mean, we've come down a long way, which is very disappointing because at one point, we were rubbing shoulders against the best of the world. Now, we can't even make it there.
But Umar, you are insider. What do you think happened? What happened wrong?
There are different factors, infighting, as you said, within the board, because obviously administration plays a role in all of this.
Sorry to cut you off. There's infighting in every board.
Yes,
any board. In India, there's infighting.
You're right, but there's common interest as well, because you want to see your country or your product do well, which I'm not sure that always translated by Cricket Canada towards the team. After we qualified for the 2011 World Cup, there were a whole sum of force changes made to the team, and that's when the slide started. We started coming down from there.
Oh, okay.
Right away, 2 months after we qualified for the World Cup, we went on tour, and because of those wholesome changes, we lost.
So do you think that, like, as a developing cricketer, like the young cricketers who are coming up, full of enthusiasm, there should be some system to tap them early and put them in some kind of academy supported by Cricket Canada?
But Cricket Canada need money for that. Where is the money?
Yeah. Okay. So the money is the problem.
Of course, that's the money.
And why we are not getting money? If I am not wrong, ICC is definitely
I think they are giving
funding,
certain, they have certain fixed amount which they get, which is good enough to run their administration.
administration.
But they were getting some high performance, but they are out of it now.
Yeah, Canada is not a high performance country anymore.
So they cut down the fund.
Yeah, significantly, because at one point, Cricket Canada used to get almost $1 million from ICC for, most of that money went towards the senior teams, preparation in terms of the World Cup. So going on tours, salaries, etc. Now, that is not there anymore. I'm not sure, what they get from ICC now. I mean, there's barely any funding from the government, and there are no private sponsors. I mean, because there's nothing for them. Now that the team is, in doldrums, what are they going to do? How, if you're an investor, let's say you're interested in sponsoring the team, so you go to the board and you ask them, what's in it for me? If I give you $100,000, what will I get back in return?
Yeah.
Because you're not getting exposure, any media exposure, any TV exposure. Yeah, how much? Okay, fine, you could do online, with the social media, what have you, but that is not enough, because the only way that an investor will see a return on their investment is, when people see cricket, Canada playing cricket internationally around the world. And so people get curious, if whatever logo is on my shirt, oh, okay, I'll go Google that and see,
Yeah.
You generate interest, but there is no such thing as that now.
And there is no TV coverage as well, right? So
no, my thing is like to get that thing, you have to have a professional guy doing it.
Yes.
Like any board, they have CEO, that's their job.
Yes.
Like to get a money from a big company, I have to behave like that. I have to give them a game plan. I have to give them a plan. This is our plan.
Yeah.
I don't think our present setup can make a plan even. Because we used in 2008, we have a CEO. That time we have a lot of funds.
Okay.
How come that dried up? Immediately he went, funds went.
Okay.
How come the new setup or new management is not able to bring a single pie or single dollar here? Why not?
Ideally, I would have like to invite somebody from Cricket Canada, and I was trying to invite them, but I think they are very busy with the Z20 organization.
They're not working 24 hours, half an hour. Like we are working.
No,
too.
I'm not able to get in touch. I will not be lying, but to counter that, your arguments, we should have somebody from Cricket Canada to have a good debate on that. But maybe some other program will do that. But it is very important, and I think you are raising a very good point that money is a very important factor, and we should have some professional who knows how to do that, right? Because this is the era where we talk about branding, marketing, campaigning, and if you do not have a professional, and I cannot vouch on that, but if you do not have, then we are lacking there, and we should have one person who knows how to do this. Small amount, big amount, doesn't matter, but we have to get it started.
That is his job.
Yeah.
CEO
because
is
ICC may be saying, no, go and organize your own fund. I can just give you this much.
No, I think with ICC, I think they're mainly focused in the Americas region anyway. I think they're mainly focused on US because it's an untapped market with a lot of potential. And they've taken over the administration there. So ICC is running cricket in US now. We're still above US in rankings, but I mean we have to do better because you can't just sit here and cry, oh, ICC is not favoring us. It's not about favor. It's about the results. You know,
I understand.
It's ICC has certain expectations of the board as well as the team. So if you meet both criteria set by the ICC, then I'm sure they're not going to turn a blind eye to you. But you have to fulfill that first.
Yes.
You have to fulfill your own obligations.
But you are right. But then to perform, we have to go play.
Well, so I mean, one positive thing that's come out of this is ICC at least is sanctioned, which we haven't talked about the T20 tournament that's taking place here.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that in a bit. But another important point, and I would like to have your opinion, that like I bring my cricketing experience from India. And I can speak on the, from whatever I saw in India, how it progressed, right? In India, since till 1983, there was not huge money involved in cricket. People were not getting the huge money, and there was lack of sponsorship and everything. All of a sudden, India won the World Cup in 1983, and sponsorship started pouring in, right? Because they saw stars, Kapil Dev, Gavaskar. The stars were there, but they were not promoted as in a big platform as after the 1983. All of a sudden stars were born.
Yeah.
And then you saw Tendulkar coming in at the very right time, and he become a biggest brand India has ever produced in cricketing world, right? And because of that brand, sponsorship came, so marketing came, campaigning came, and the money came. And BCCI very strategically exploited that situation. He made that star big enough, right? Do you think that because we don't have a star in Canada, that is what holding us to bring money, or we need a star, real star?
Just taking what you said, after 1983, do you know who the BCCI president was? Jagmohan Dalmia.
Dalmia, yes.
He is a businessman.
Yes.
So he exploited it.
Yeah.
He know how to do it. He is a big businessman.
Yes.
People here, I am not criticizing for the sake of criticism.
Yes.
I have a betterment for the cricket. But point is, these people cannot go to companies and give the program. With these days, with CEOs, you are dealing with a CEO. Suppose you go to Microsoft.
No, I will say let's compare apple to apple, because India won the World Cup. So that created a situation for Dalmia to exploit and bring the sponsors. Maybe Canadian cricket doesn't have that situation.
No, at that time the TV was not big. Only we have Doordarshan.
Yeah, I agree.
But that
TV was coming.
Start developing, and that's where the money came in.
Yes.
You take away the TV.
So considering Canadian situation, how you think that we can bring money and sponsors?
Okay, going back, I think we're missing the point here is because although cricket has a long history in Canada, we don't have that culture here. We don't have a cricketing culture. We have hockey culture. You know, you look at hockey, there's so many stars, right? We don't have that here. We don't have cricket culture. In India, at least you had that cricket culture. So it's not a fair comparison,
I agree.
But if you're talking about a star, you had the perfect opportunity in 2003 when John Davison, hit the fastest century against West Indies. He became an instant star at that time. But even then, cricket, even if they wanted to capitalize on it, they couldn't, because out of 30 or 35 million people, maybe 30,000 or 40,000 knew who John Davison was. So you look at the numbers, it just boils down to the numbers game now, because the only people that knew of John Davison were the people who played cricket, nobody else. So until and unless you get into the mainstream population of Canada,
you cannot. That's the point.
That's the point.
That has been, and since I've been playing cricket, that's been the question, and up to today, nobody has been able to answer that. We talked about school cricket; it's grown exponentially, and I think Cricket Canada is doing a lot. But it's going to take a very long time. It just boils down to that. It's going to take a very long time. People have to be interested. And the only way to appeal to them is,
it is a very simple thing that if you see the numbers, right? And I agree that when a sponsor comes in, they always look at the numbers. That what are the viewership, right? Because everything today is about TV.
Yeah. No, even school cricket. Yeah. Like if I'm born here, my son is playing here, I will never let him play because I don't see future there.
Yeah, you don't see the future.
Like he cannot make a career out of it, but in India, I see a future there.
Yeah. And that was not the case like 20 years back. Like you cannot make a good money from.
But we are still not making money. Yeah. At least they are making money, but we are not still not. But my point is, parents when they come from India, they are very excited. They are comparing it with Indian thing.
Yeah.
When they see what's happening, after 6 months they say, "Oh, you know what? Start
playing hockey or do something else."
So
and I think that is the same case, and it is the same. Like in Canada, we have so many cricketing communities. Like we have South African, we have West Indians, we have Pakistani.
All cricket playing nations, people
everything is here, but it is quite surprising that we cannot gel together to make a
No, I give you a reason for that. Yeah. Like if you ask me, I will say India is best. You ask me, Pakistan is best. You ask anyone, West Indies is best. We never say Canada is best.
Canada is best.
Do we ever say that? No. If I have to take a team for practice, India is best. Talk to me, Pakistan is best. So what happens is when we are diverting this way, when these players are playing, suppose Canada is playing with Pakistan, do you think inside we are supporting Canada? Or they are playing with India? We are supporting India, not Canada.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. But,
I think that
is a very typical Canadian.
That's a hard.
You see, if I talk, yes, I will not lie to you on the TV that if India is playing to any other nation, that I definitely support India. But when it comes to Canada, I think we're all Canadian.
We should.
But the point is that do we have that good enough team to actually support? It's not a matter of supporting, it's a matter of how do we generate that resource in Canada, right? And one of the idea and one of the suggestions from my friend was that why don't we bring big star to play in our local league, so that it generates a curiosity.
Because
what will happen that if a big star, or not a big star, but if the first the first class player are coming from England or Australia or say India or Pakistan, at least our players will get a good exposure. Competitiveness will be there.
So there's a reason.
And
there's
there will
economics
be huge curiosity about that.
There's economics there. You are asking a first class player to come here to leave his earning, which is making out of cricket here, to come here and play and get nothing.
Yeah. So there should be a program from ICC sponsored.
No, even the local one, you have to pay them because they're making good money. They only come here to have their resume and go to, I went there in Canada, played. But when it comes to economics, I can tell you, like even playing in Ranji Trophy in India, if you are from India, it's a good money.
Yeah, yeah.
So why will he leave that thing and come and play here?
No, see, there is season difference, right? The
No,
season when we play, like, and the season there, where, like normally Ranji Trophy season can be adjusted accordingly.
But in summers, they are having local tournaments. They pay you to play, even to appear there. Here, they have to spend money from their pocket. I wish they should come. That's my wish.
But you need to understand that in India, there are a lot of players who are equally good enough. But they don't get chance to play because of so much of competition, right?
But then who's going to come and see them?
Yeah, that is the point. So that's what I'm saying. There should be something from BCCI, Cricket Canada. They should sit together and see how the cricket can be developed. Just by organizing, calling some team from West Indies or from America, it will not help us.
That is
for no, I mean, we need to
generate that curiosity.
That is for scorebooks.
Yeah.
Cricket Canada has been associated with the West Indies Cricket Board for a very long time.
No, it's
but like unfortunately, it hasn't gone that way. I mean, West Indies have done everything that they can in their power.
No, Umar, because ICC is paying West Indies to take care of Canada. They are babysitting them. They are not doing any favor.
Okay, if you want to put it that way, but at least we go and play in their domestic competition, but we struggle. But we struggle because we're not at that level. So whether it's a waste of money or resources, ICC will have to be the judge of that. But so as I said, we make a little bit of progress in 2 or 3 weeks, but when we come back and we're back to that, we're back to square one.
Yeah.
So there is no continuation where you're constantly improving. So unless you have guys, 20, 30 guys that you've identified that they're your future, so you have a mix of players, and all they do is just play cricket all year round across the world. That's all you do. I mean, when we did that for 2 or 3 years, that's when we were beating Ireland, Afghanistan, Scotland, Netherlands.
The living example is Afghanistan. They are playing in Noida. That's their home country. Even the country any visiting, like they
why Afghanistan? Look at Pakistan. They survive all this period.
But they are like already
they played in
developed.
Dubai, they played in different places.
No, but cricket-wise they are developed. But this Afghanistan just came from bottom.
Yeah.
They are all the time stationed at Noida, and UP is their home state. Even they had these matches with which country they played just now? Bangladesh. They played in Dehradun.
Yeah.
Because Uttarakhand was their host. The point is they have a group of players.
That's what they do. They're playing.
And then all of a sudden they got a couple of stars, right? Like
when they play, they become stars.
Yeah. So
maybe we have stars. They
the
do get a
moment
chance.
they get a star, broadcaster, sponsor.
No, but we have
you have good players here. There's no. You have good players here, but they don't have the support structure.
It is a very important point.
You have to find them. Yeah.
Another factor I wanted to bring, and this is my experience. I am not very old in Canadian cricket history, but what is the important is that what I see, that grounds are not very good here. Like very limited grounds.
I tell you about the grounds.
And the grass are so high that
for the grounds he will tell you better. But what my experience is, they are not private grounds. Those are government maintained grounds.
Like the municipality, there is a bylaw.
So they have a limit for the grass. So you can't help.
There are a lot of challenges.
No, but these are the challenges and constraints. So do you think that Canadian government is not doing enough to promote cricket?
They're not. Absolutely.
For them, cricket is not important.
Important, right? But when the election times come, they do show their interest in cricket.
Right. So the people that are in charge of cricket, in administration, it is their responsibility.
That's why you have to market the cricket. I will say, if you drive around Toronto, you will see many of those, this baseball pitch grounds. There are lights on, nobody playing.
But it is amazing, Anil.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, baseball.
But they will never allow us to play there.
No, that is okay. But you see, I am very surprised to notice this, that it is not that we don't have representation in parliament. If you see the people from our local ethnic community, they are being elected in MPP and MP. Why can't, if we go to them and we push them for our temples, our masjid, why can't we push them to go and speak for cricket?
No, they get some funding. It's like very limited though. I think it's 40,000 or something. They do get it.
It's not good enough.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
Not even good for 1 month.
You can't pay one player $40,000 to survive on a
No, still, if they start giving them the money, the point is who's going to pay the players?
Okay. So with this, I would like to sum it up. So viewers, as we saw that we discussed few factors which we think is a problem for us, which is a constraint for us. But in spite of the constraint, we have also, hope for future, because if you know that Cricket Canada is organizing a Z20 tournament, which is a T20 format, and we are very hopeful that in coming days it will bring a lot of curiosity and sponsorship in our Canadian cricket system. And this is our hope, and we hope that everything goes well for Cricket Canada. For the next episode, we will be discussing more about it. So stay tuned and keep watching Straight Bat with Devesh.
This might be out. Taken comfortably. That's a good catch in the deep. 1 run needed. This might run away to the boundary.